Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel. Today we're doing our match day and player review after Manchester City beat Southampton by 4-0. It was really an easy game. That is the first thing I would say. It seemed like a stroll in the park for Manchester City against Southampton. Southampton caused little to, any threat at all. I'm not quite sure. City were in full control. Pep Guardiola changed things up a little bit in terms of formation-wise. We will talk about that in today's video. But in general, City, it was just so easy for them. They strolled past Southampton like they weren't there. It was like a training game. It felt like at times City took the foot off the gas. I think after the first 45 minutes, really. The second half, we did not see the Manchester City we probably expected to see in that second half. And at the game, you thought, ooh, City could maybe get double figures in this game, really. The way they'd started the first half, the way they played in the first half, they missed quite a lot of chances. I do think it should have been 6 or 7-0 really in the end. Erling Haaland had one in the second half where he was pushed over, I believe, by Mohamed Salisu, or it could have been Bella Kotchap that stopped him from putting one in the back of the net. And he also had one early on, Haaland, didn't he, where he hit the inside of the post and it rolled right across the goal line, nearly hit the other post and went out for a goal kick. I've never seen a ball come off the post with such spin before really and go behind, and that's why it didn't bounce back to Erling Haaland. He was a bit unlucky, and Haaland didn't have his best of games really. He did get a goal still, and that just shows the machine that he is in front of goal. He still got a goal, but he didn't have the best of games really today, Erling Haaland, or yesterday as this video goes out. So into the player ratings, we start in with Ederson, who gets a 7. Had nothing much to do really at all. And when it was called upon, he was there, and that's why I give him a 7, solid enough. He's kicking at times. I think City was sloppy at times, especially when the substitutions came on. We brought the younger players on, and City tend to turn sloppy after that, and I could see by Pep Guardiola's reactions on the sidelines, he wasn't too happy with the way City were playing at times either. And City went with sort of back 3 today. I've put it out as a 4 because when we were pressing and when we were, sort of out of possession, I'd say it was a back 4, Akanji at right back, Diaz, Ake and Cancelo then at left back. And I expected it when I saw the team sheet to be Ake at the left back position, Cancelo at the right back position. Clearly Pep thinks that Cancelo is an out-and-out left back now, playing sort of as a left winger really, because it was Akanji, Diaz and Ake along a back 3, Cancelo on the left wing, and Mahrez out wide in the right wing, Bernardo Silva and Rodri in the midfield, 2, and then Foden and De Bruyne in front, Haaland the focal point up top. So it was sort of a 3-4-2-1 really, I'd say it was, and that really destroyed Southampton. If you have watched the game, you'll see that the way that Foden and De Bruyne played close to Haaland, and then we see Mahrez and Cancelo really far wide. Southampton played with a 4-4-2 formation. The two strikers tried to mark up City's 3 centre-backs, which then really outnumbered anyway. It ruined Southampton's press. The full-backs had to then bomb on, because the wingers were up there as well with City centre-backs and midfielders. The wingers had to then bomb on, and the full-backs, had to bomb on for Southampton and mark. It was Cancelo on the left-hand side and Mahrez on the right-hand side, and that meant that the two centre-backs, Salisu and Bella Kotchap, had De Bruyne, Foden and Haaland to mark. So they tried to double-team Haaland all the time, maybe a full-back tuck in to him, and that left either Foden free, or if they weren't free, Salisu or Bella Kotchap had to step out to Foden and De Bruyne either side of Haaland. If they did, Haaland was free. If then the other centre-back went across to Haaland, De Bruyne was free. Or if the winger tucked in and the full-back tucked in, then Mahrez was free. And the same on the other side. It worked very well. Good tactical approach from Pep Guardiola. That's why I've given him a 9 for today's game. I thought the substitutions were good as well. He brought some of the young players on, which is good to see. So Akanji gets an 8. Thought it was solid as always at the back. Did actually good marauding runs at sometimes, playing at sort of a right-back position in the game. Southampton didn't really have a sniff down his side. Diaz gets a 7. I think Diaz's biggest issue, similar to the Copenhagen game, was his ability to play those progressive passes out from the back. At times, we struggled in the first half. He was pretty sloppy with those passes into midfield. Couldn't find Bernardo Silva, Rodri, De Bruyne, Gundogan, or Mahrez. Sorry, not Gundogan. Gundogan's not playing a minute of football, apparently, says Pep Guardiola, until him and his wife try his restaurant. Ake gets an 8, as solid as always. Nathan Ake, he's just really good. A solid 8 out of 10 player every week, and that is exactly what you want from a defender, especially. Joao Cancelo, who is the man on the screen today on the picture, he gets man of the match. Joao Cancelo, a 9 for him. That pass to Mahrez with the outside of his boot in the first half was ridiculous on the half volley, and then the goal he scored himself, where he just took on the Southampton players, beat James Ward-Prowse, weaker left foot, puts it into the back of the net through. I think it went through Bella Kotchap's legs. I have to say, Bazunu, who City have sold recently to Southampton, he had a brilliant game, the Southampton goalkeeper. But yeah, Cancelo Beat Bazunu this time, and he was just wonderful, Cancelo. Real attacking threat. Plays basically as a left winger now, doesn't he? And that just shows the quality he has going forward. He can play inside, outside. What a player. In the midfield, City had Rodri and Bernardo Silva holding. They were brilliant. Bernardo Silva was everywhere, as always. Rodri, not quite the ridiculous level I've seen him play at before, but that pass for the Mahrez goal, I think it was the third Manchester City goal, where he clips it over the defence. And the run from De Bruyne and Haaland have dragged the Southampton defences just into the box. Mahrez goes around the outside on that right side. Rodri, great vision, clips it over the top, and Mahrez with a wonderful finish. It's a difficult one. He missed a similar one, like I said, from that Cancelo chance in the first half, and Cancelo cross. But this time, Mahrez gets it right. In front of him was Kevin De Bruyne, who got another assist. I think he's on 9 assists for the season now, KDB. A ball through to Phil Foden with a majestic little dink finish over the top of the goalkeeper, and the Southampton defence as well from Phil Foden. Clearly, he's been working on his finishing, Phil Foden. 3 in the last Manchester derby, and now a goal again today, an 8 for Phil Foden also. Mahrez gets a 7 on the right-hand side. I thought Mahrez in that first half was poor. You can see he's just not quite at it, Riyad Mahrez. You really can see that. And I think it will come in time for Riyad Mahrez, but at the moment, he really isn't at it. And he does need to sort of maybe get a run of games. I think that's why Pep Guardiola started today. I think when we saw the team sheet, I was very surprised to see Mahrez in there. I didn't think he was fantastic against Copenhagen despite scoring that penalty. I did expect Jack Grealish to be in there. We'll get into Jack Grealish in a moment because I have given him a low rating. But Mahrez starting, I think maybe Mahrez is one of those players, and I think we do know that really. He needs a run of games and he needs to be playing week in, week out to really perform and to play his best. The same with Kevin De Bruyne. I think he plays better after he's played a game a few days before. I think if he hasn't played in the recent games and he comes back from an injury or if he comes back from a rested game, he tends to not play so well. I don't know why. That's just maybe the condition of some players. Erling Haaland gets a 7 today. I think that's probably his lowest rating all season. He occupied basically the Southampton defence, and he had a chance that he missed, maybe 2 or 3 chances that he missed, and I mean, he still scored a goal anyway. Wonderful finish. Hammers it down the middle after a cutback from Joao Cancelo. Down past Bazunu, right through the goalkeeper's legs. He's obviously a finishing machine, and you know, we can have an off day every now and again, Erling Haaland, considering the amount of goals he's scoring. And really, he occupied the Southampton defence. He worried them being on the team sheet. He dragged them all over the place, and that left spaces for Foden and De Bruyne to set up chances or create chances or score chances as well. So Haaland a 7. I wouldn't say that is harsh on him at all. As for the City bench, Jack Grealish gets a 5. Came on, and I think he set up 2 Southampton counter-attacks. That was about as much as Jack Grealish did. Wasn't impressive at all, not like he's been in the other games, the last 4 or 5 games. I think he needs to start the games, Grealish, to make an impact. Giving him 10 minutes off the bench isn't quite what he needs. Sergio Gomez gets a 6. Good, solid, okay. Not amazing, but okay. I do like him though. I think that Copenhagen game, he showed his quality of pass. Real good left foot on him. I think he'll start to develop more and we'll see more of him throughout the season. Cole Palmer came on and like Copenhagen was causing big problems down that right hand side for Southampton this time. Parodi beat him 2 or 3 times. My biggest issue with Palmer when he came on and why he didn't get a higher rating was he needs to pass the ball every time he's looking to shoot. He's got to pass the ball. And the time he did pass the ball, I think he put it to... could have been Julian Alvarez at the far post, and City nearly scored from it. He's got to pass. He's too greedy at times. He's looking for the shot all the time, and you can see the frustration from Erling Haaland at one point with him doing that, Cole Palmer. And then finally, Rico Lewis, he gets a 7 as well. Came in midfield, actually. The back 3, Rico Lewis came in midfield for Manchester City alongside Rodri, and he was great. He was great. Sometimes you can see that he's not quite aware of his surroundings. He needed to scan a bit more to know which players were on him. And sometimes his passes weren't fantastic. But he did play one Joao Cancelo-esque pass outside of the boot. Then he clipped it round the defender and in behind to Cole Palmer. And that's just a glimpse of what Rico Lewis can do. And at 17 years of age, to be trusted by Pep Guardiola to play first-team football this many times for Manchester City, I think we've got a real talent on our hands here. So Lewis and Palmer, definitely the next ones to come through alongside Phil Foden. Perhaps a few more in the future as well. Joel Ndala has been impressive in the Man City youth system, and so has Carlos Borges at the moment. So City 4, Southampton 0. We will be doing a match day live as well, guys, for the Copenhagen game on Tuesday. That is, the matchday lives are back for obviously all the away games. And also, I just want to say thank you very much to everyone who watched our FIFA series episode 1. I came back from the Southampton game to see we'd already hit over 1,000 views in that episode. That is fantastic. The new episode is out tomorrow. Please do like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And we'll see you guys next time.